Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Shelly, and today we are going to start a little series doing some winter scrapbooking. Now, I am from Florida. We do not get real winter weather here. Each year we get a couple of days in the 20s, some maybe fluke where it's in 19 or something like that, but we do not get snow. We do not get wintry weather. So last year in January, in a fluke situation, we got like 10 inches of snow, but stayed for most of the week. And obviously, being a scrapbooker and in a situation where that I had not been in before, I took like 250 photos. So that is what I'm going to be scrapbooking the next couple of videos. And I'm going to be using this year's Winter Bliss collection and last year's Flurry of Fun collection. Now, I'm not going to do all of the photos, obviously, just two or three layouts. But the first one I'm going to work on today using this Winter Bliss collection. As of filming this video, it is still available, I believe. So I just got the whole collection whenever it came out. So it came with the paper pack, came with the embellishments, the matte pack, the sticker pack. These are really cute too. And then I think that there was a coordinating card. Yeah, coordinate. Well, this is the coordinating cardstock, but there was like a little packet of it, and I got that as well. It came with a decorative border punch. This one, I think, is called Dancing Snowflake. Yes, Dancing Snowflakes. And then this border maker cartridge called Winter Boots. I also have out this one, Mittens and Flurries. I think this one is from last year. Yes, so it came out with that Flurry of Fun. But looking at these, they are very similar to each other. Like this one has the wavy bottom, but this one is the boots and this one is the mittens, and it even has the little like star snowflakes. So using those together would be a really good idea because they would coordinate so well. But we're gonna use this one and this one today on our layout. Now, you also get the Project Playbook. And I don't always like I have a weird relationship with sketches. I love sketches, but what I usually use sketches for are ideas for photo placement because I have this weird, I don't know if it's issues with authority, I don't know what it is, but I never ever follow the instructions that are given to me like I'm supposed to. I will start off with using something as an inspiration, and then I would say pretty close to 100% of the time I veer off in my own direction. So we're going to be taking this project from the Project Playbook for Winter Bliss and starting here and then, eventually veering off course. Now, the papers that it calls for are this snowy background, which I think is beautiful. It also calls for this plaid, or not plaid, like a checkerboard and distressed piece. And then they use this piece that's navy with a little bit of almost like an argyle type of print. Now, I am not going to use this piece of paper. It's perfect. There's no reason, there's nothing wrong with the piece of paper. I love the piece of paper. In fact, that's the reason why I am not going to use it because you see so little of it that I have decided that I'm just going to use a piece of navy cardstock instead. So I'm going to save this piece for another project. I'm going to use some of the recommended paper. They have this second piece of, let's see if you can see it. There is a second row of snowflakes behind the white row, and they have said to use this piece, I believe, And then the bottom boots piece, they used this piece, but I'm going to use this piece for both. As I have mentioned, I have about 250 photos that I've taken. Obviously, I'm not going to scrapbook them all, but I do want to get as many as I can scrapbooked. And so I have made a little bit of a plan. Like I'm going to do a layout for snowmen. I'm going to do a layout for snow angels. I'm going to do a layout for just scenes from around the yard that don't have people in it. And then these are the ones that have pictures of me and my parents in them. Now, they are similar to each other. Like it's my mom and dad standing in front of a bunch of stuff. It's so, normally probably I wouldn't document, a bunch of very similar looking photos, except that what I am documenting is not just them, it's the stuff around it. So I am going to have several photos that are similar to each other, but that's what I want. So that's what I'm going to do. All right. So on the Project Playbook, they have a square photo and then a 6x4 horizontal photo. Then they have a 4x6 um, vertical photo and then another square photo. Well, I want more than just those on there. So what I am planning to do is my horizontal photo and then a 3x4 instead of the square. And then I am going to do these are a little bit smaller than 4x6, just because of the way that the iPhone takes the photos. But then over here, I'm going to add some others. So I'm going to put McGee here, my dog in the snow. He has a sister. For some reason, I don't have a picture of her in the snow. And then these are like, this is my parents in front of this big magnolia tree. This is them in front of the same tree. So obviously I do not need both of those pictures. But I like the scenery, like the tree itself and then the snow on the ground. So I want to document that. So one of these I'm going to put in a flip-flop. I'm not sure which one, probably like that. And then this is in front of a different tree. Like this and this are the same tree. But I'm showing the woods and this is so different for us. So there are things that I probably don't need to document, but I am doing it anyway. And then this is just my boots sank down in the snow, and I'm going to put that there. So we have taken this 1, 2, 3, 4 photos and turned it into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 photos that we're going to do on this layout. Now, other than the embellishments, most of the rest of it is going to be similar. So I'm going to put a strip across the middle, and I'm not going to make it bigger to accommodate this. I'm going to allow them to hang off the top and the bottom like this one does. I'm going to allow these to do that as well on this side. And then this side will be the same. And then for this dark blue, I'm going to use that piece of navy instead of the pattern paper that we were talking about earlier. So I'm going to move my photos out of the way and cut down my other pieces of paper. We have our 2 pieces of checkerboard paper. They recommended it to be cut at 4.5, but my photo sizes are a little bit different. So I have cut mine to 5 inches for both sides. And then I have my pieces of navy cardstock with the decal edge using the decorative blade for on the 12-inch trimmer. All right, so let's put our photos back for right now. Going to have a mat around it, so it will look a little bit different. All right, now we need the project recipe calls for this to be cut in white for both the bottom and the top of both pages. So we will need 4 of them. And that is 1. And we just need 3 more. Now I have my 4 white dancing snowflake border punches done. And it calls for on the project recipe calls for at the top a shadow layer to be cut. And like I said, it says to do it in the lighter blue, but I'm going to use the same blue at the top that we're going to do at the bottom. Now there are 2 ways that you can cut this. And one is by using the border punch as instructed and lining up with that black line that shows you on the front, which shows you where to begin, which it helps you to start and stop your borders in a logical place. So they have figured out it would be best if you start here. It will you know, work well because these are like exactly cut in half. So it looks nice on the page. So you can do it that way. And then you have these 2 that just kind of stack on top of each other, almost like a shadow. What I want to do though is to stagger them so that these do not perfectly line up. So all you have to do for to get that is to not start where the black line is, to scooch it up a little bit um, in about half the width of it, so that when you line your 2 pieces up on top of each other, they aren't exactly the same. And so then it gives a little bit more movement to your piece. So now your big snowflakes, kind of stagger instead of line up symmetrically. So I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to recut this one like this. And all right. So this one is a little bit even different than the other. So I'm going to take this one off, put this one here. Did I do that where they ended up lining up anyway? No, they're a little bit different. They're still a little bit different. All right, so we have our staggering snowflakes. All right. And now at the bottom, it calls for this border maker cartridge, right? I have my tool here. I have one cut already where I was practicing. All right, so you have your little pattern here, and then they do overlap the snowflakes on the top of the little boot border. All right, now what they did was take their navy blue and cut the border again. But instead of using the border, they're just using the boots. See how it punches out all these little boots? So we're going to cut this in navy and then keep the boots and re-inlay those into the design. So I'm going to keep this because I could use it on a different layout. Maybe I got a little jinky there. Set this to the side. And then we want to keep our boots. So I'm going to just pick the boots up and put them in this bowl for now. Okay, so I have turned my pages upside down and I have attached these center pieces. And on this side, I have attached everything. I have attached my two dancing snowflakes borders at the top, and then my winter boot piece at the bottom. And then I overlaid the white dancing snowflake over that. And I also did the inlay of the boots. So I am doing the same to the opposite side. I have flipped these upside down because I just wanted to make sure that when I put my snowflakes across the top, I kind of lined them up with each other. A little piece here I want to snip off. And then I'm just going to use I have my little silicone mat here, and I'm going to use some repositionable adhesive. You could also use glue if you wanted. And then flip over, please. Going to, let's make sure these are side by side. And then for the ones that we cut, the white ones that we cut correctly, they pretty closely, not exactly. Let's see if it matches up this way better. Yeah, see how they kind of match up with each other? And then I'm just overlaying them. And I think on the project um, recipe, hers may be a little bit further apart, but I like the way these just kind of overlap each other. Now, for the bottom, I'm excited we get to use one of the new tools that has come out, and that is this ruler that clamps over the top and the bottom of your 13 by 13 mat. Now, I have turned my layout sideways again. Here, let's do it this way so it's in the middle. You can do these side by side, but I have taped my two on the bottom. I just used some painter's tape and connected my two mats together because when I'm filming videos, they were sliding all over the place. So these I have attached together, or else I would um, do this from one side to the other. So I'm lining up my page with my mat, and then I am going to place this at the 1 inch mark. So 11 up here and one down here. And then I can use it to very easily line my border because it has that straight edge at the top. Line it up across the top. This seems a little bit too low. Let me see. Oh no, I did an eighth of an inch. That's what it was. I did an eighth of an inch higher on the front end. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I am going to use my silicone mat and my repositionable adhesive again. And if you do it over the silicone mat, then the glue doesn't come off the roll because it won't stick to the silicone mat, which is pretty neat. Any silicone mat. All right. And then for my boots, what I found easiest to do on this side was to just take the boots out of my little bowl and line them up. So I just place one at each space. And then I did use glue. This is my favorite kind of glue. It's called Barely Art Precision Craft Glue. And then I just did a little L, 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 L. And then you could use your pickup tool. I'm using my little wax piece again and just place it right in to the spot. There's a weird hair stuck to my finger. I have 4 cats, so pretty much there's hair stuck to everything. All right, and then do the rest of my glue. And then again, we're going to take our repositionable adhesive and overlay just a little bit. So not a lot, just a little bit. Overlap. Let's see if these line up with each other. Yes. Those are not perfect, but they'll be fine. Okay. Oops. All right. So now we can put our photos back on. So here is basically where we're going to start veering further off course from the project recipe because my embellishing is going to be different and the situation obviously is going to be different. But so far we've stuck fairly closely to the project recipe. So photo mats. What color do we want our photo mats to be? So I went with the brown. I did like the blue, but everything was just so blue whenever I used the blue, it just blended in too much. So I'm hoping that because I know that I'm going to be using the trees, that the brown will tie in enough. I did double matte this photo because it was just short enough because of the way the photo is printed. I should have cropped it more so it was a little bit longer, but I didn't. So it was ending right where this border was ending and it didn't look right. So I added the second matte just on this photo in the navy. And then I have matted these not super well. And I think it's time for embellishing. I have the stickers. So we have the sticker sheet. And another reason why I like the brown is because I know that I want to use this sticker that says Winter's Quiet Beauty, and it has that kind of wood border around it. I have that stuck to this little bowl up here. And so I have these stickers that go with the collection. A lot of the icons on this page seem to be more indoorsy. Um, I went through the matte pack and the embellishment pack. And they do have some cute sayings for the matte pack. And one of these I cut out potential title. This is actually the same one that they used in the project recipe. I'm not 100% sure about this because I think I'm just going to use the little guy, the winter, because that one would make the Winter's Quiet Beauty kind of a secondary one, but I do have this as a possibility. And then I went through here this Winter Bliss embellishment, and I have just like a whole stack over here. I have just a bunch of them on my little silicone mat over here to choose from. And a couple of things I already know I wanted to use, like the trees, but I'm not sure about the rest. So we're going to figure that out together. Now, one thing I loved was this little bunny. I don't know why. I don't know what he has to do with anything, but I want him to go right there. There were 2 houses in the collection, little snow-covered houses. The other one was blue. This one, my parents live in a log cabin, so this one was kind of the closest And so I think I want it to go there. I thought about putting it here with the trees, but I think I like it here. Let's see. So that means I have some more trees that I need to use. I wish I had even more. And so if I'm going to put some there, I need to put some on this page. So maybe, maybe there. I think I like them here better. And then this little dude, look how tiny he is. I'm going to put him with this little bunny. Figure that out. All right. Let's see here. If I do my Winter's Quiet Beauty, I need something to go with it. Let's see. I also had this as an option. Winter magic. But again, everything is so blue that if there's no contrast, it's not going to show up. But I do like that quite a lot. I thought about maybe just inking the edges, but look, when you put it down there, it just disappears. So I don't know. Here, I do like this guy. Again, blends right in. So I'll have to figure out a way to make it stick out. I need something bigger. Is there bigger? Is there bigger? And then put this guy here and move these even over some more. I do like that. I do like that. All right. I think I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to stick it down yet. All right. So over here, if we do these trees, so I have trees, 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 3 trees. I think that's going to be, I'm going to treat this as one big embellishment cluster. And then this would be my second. And then I think I'm just going to do the tiny one there. I could do a word or something right there. And then, is there a smaller one of these? Yes. That seems so big right there. Do I have, let me look at my other words. Let's look at these other words. Bundled up. That one would be cute. I wish I had something else that was the brown. Oh, I do like the bundled up. Okay. I'm going to keep that out. I'm going to use it instead of this. I feel like I need a big title here, but I don't want to have a big title there. I want to have my title be this Winter's Quiet Beauty. Right, let's add some foam squares. All right, I'm going to pause the camera, tape down the photos so that I can continue attaching my embellishments without things moving around all over the place. Okay, I have adhered down all of my photos, so they'll stop sliding around. And I went ahead and taped or stuck down these pieces on this side. So I have my trees tucked behind here, and then my little cabin and the Winter's Quiet Beauty. Now I want to put this right up here, but he blends in so much that I am going to see if I can darken up the edges a little bit. I'm using the Memento Danube Blue. See how that helps it stand out a little bit better? So I think I'm going to keep that, but I may have to do something like that on another piece as well. So I'm going to tuck these trees here. I really would like to see the tree trunks, but I don't like it just laying over the top like that. So I'm going to tuck these behind the photo, but in front of the photo mats. I might put this one. No, I'm going to layer it like that. And then I have the swirly. I might have to scooch these over a little bit. And then I have the swirly that I want to put here. Maybe I can do the edges of it a little bit. I want him right there. And then my little tree down here, I'm going to put it in the back, and then the little rabbit in front. He's so cute. My mom loves rabbits too, so I'm going to leave that there. And then I have my sticker. So let's stick these down. Now, do I want to do what I thought I was going to do earlier and add some of these little pieces like, okay, so I went to glue down my little starry bits that we saved from our border punch. I punched some white ones and I started laying them out because I wanted them to kind of look like, swirling snowflakes. And I got a little carried away. So I glued down my little stars, kind of like in a pattern. And then I took my uh, jelly roll pen. This is a size 8. And I drew like some swirls for, the snow. And then, because as if that wasn't enough, I got out my favorite little sparkly bits, the Spellbinders Color Essential Gems. This is the silver mix, and I used these teeny tiny ones, and I just sprinkled a few throughout my little snowflake swirls. So I have my paper snowflakes, my jelly roll swirly bits, and my Spellbinders Color Essential Gems to finish off my finishing touches. And I think it looks cute. My my title is a little underwhelming. I could have put something big up there, but I didn't really want to. So I'm just going to leave it as it is. Like I said, it's going to be part of a collection of 3 or 4, maybe 5 other layouts. And I think that it accomplishes what I wanted to accomplish, and that is to show pictures of me and my parents in our snowy backyard. So I think we're done. Thank you so much for watching this video and sticking through to the end. If you have made it to the end, I appreciate you. And if you did enjoy this and wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up, that would really help, especially as a new YouTuber. I need all the help that I can get. Um, if you do not already have a Creative Memories advisor and would like to purchase these products, which are, as of the recording of this video, still for sale, I would love for you to shop with me. My Creative Memories website link is in the description box below. Um, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which will also be a little bit of wintry fun. See you later. Bye-bye.